All right, let's talk about something more and more AI founders and the product teams are stressing over lately. What's the best headless CMS for AI companies? It's a very simple term saying what's the headless CMS, what's the best headless CMS for AI companies, but in when you look at in a broader perspective, right, this is not as simple as it sounds, because you're not just publishing blog posts or static pages. You're dealing with a live data, technical content, constantly changing product info. You've got onboarding flows, API documents, change logs that needs to make sense, and dashboards that won't break with a brink, right? So so what's what so it's just not about what you see, right? Like now there is a lot of internal chaos. Say designers, developers are trying to work together, product teams are pushing for faster iterations, engineering team is trying to maintain control. Everyone is under pressure to ship, like, you know it's there is no end to it. Suddenly your CMS isn't just a tool, it's your secret weapon or your biggest headache. Now what actually happens is, now let's understand this. Where it actually gets worse, most of the advice out there is very generic. You will keep seeing the same five CMS tools on every blogs with pros and cons so vague they might well be reviewing pizza toppings, right? So good developer support, easy to use, scales well. Okay, what does it actually mean? What does it actually mean for, say, for an AI team? It means nothing. This video takes a different approach. We are not here to list features. We are not here to, show what actually matters. Sorry, we are here to show what actually matters when you're choosing a right CMS for your AI company. Like, how structured does your data needs to be? Say, how can your dev team take full control? Will your content people be able to use this? What helps a non-tech team? What helps a tech team? Can it grow with you without turning into a monster? So whether you are building a simple landing page, or say you're building an entire hub altogether, you need the CMS that fits your speed, complexity, and your team setup is quintessential. This isn't about what's trendy, it's about what actually works. Now, who's this video for, right? If you're a founder, product manager, head of content, technical lead of any AI startup company or any AI company, congratulations, you have found the right content. Especially if you're building something that needs more sophisticated content management than any, those glorified blogs out there. This isn't your just, I mean, I cannot say this, but this isn't your technical blog which talks about which at the end of the day talks about the CMS A is good for this, CMS B would be good for this. Just not a small comparison, right? It's designed to be around the really fast moving AI companies, where what CMS fits best for your company, on what grounds and what frameworks can you use, a lot of other things. So, why you should listen to me? I think I've repeated it over and over again, but I've been building modern web products for over a decade. I run a focused team. This isn't a side hustle. This is literally what we do for a living. So, if you're talking about CMS at any point, our company is there. Like we have done significant amount of work there. So we work with billion-dollar companies like Abax. We work with large enterprises, AI companies, SaaS companies, finance, logistics. You can see the testimonials on our website as well. You can see the kind of good reviews that we've got. We are also top rated on Upwork. I'm also one of the top rated developers on Upwork with solo and through agencies. You can check that out as well. Now, you have built platforms using Strapi, Sanity, Directus, Payload, and fully custom CMS architectures across industries, AI, SaaS, marketplaces, every possible thing. We have watched teams evolve, content shift, witness firsthand how fast a wrong CMS can turn into a nightmare altogether. So we know it all. I mean, we shouldn't be bragging about it, but we know it all. This is based on platforms that we work with, right? So we've actually built, shipped, and kept running in production. So including for AI first products, where failure isn't just embarrassment, but it's also expensive. So yeah, I exactly know what I'm talking about. So uh, without any further ado, let's just jump into this whole answer to what the best headless CMS for AI companies. Now, I'll just quickly list out all the headless CMS, say be it Directus, Sanity, Strapi, Contentful, and Builder.io. I know a lot of them would do this, right? Like they would list out this. Now, what is important is also as to what framework would you choose to do it? Like, what would be a decision framework? Now, choosing the right headless CMS is not easy. Now, you'll have to look at your team structure. Like, let's start with team structure. Are you a developer focused team? If your team is mostly developers who want full control over things, right, choose platforms like Payload, Strapi, or Directus. These tools lets you customize everything and still maintain good performance and security. Sanity is also a great option, not denying that, but it offers advanced developer tools as well. So that's also a great option. Now let's assume that your company is an operations or DevOps led teams, right? If your team focuses more on maintaining systems, doesn't want to write a lot of code, go easy with your team. So obviously you can go with Builder.io, Sanity, or Contentful. These are easier to use, have simple interfaces, so works well with your existing setup. So now, if you have like a mixed team, right, like say a tech or plus tech plus product team, so if you have both developers, technical, non-technical members as well, say like product managers, obviously, uh, though product managers are a little technical, but still, say writers, content writers, then directors, Sanity, Contentful, Builder.io are great picks. So obviously, you can play around with this. Like you'll have to choose what works best for you. This is typically between a non-tech and a tech users. So that's how you get it. Now let's look at another aspect, right? Like the technical requirements. So many, if you're still using old systems, right? Many AI companies are still using older platforms, say WordPress or or managed content in like databases like MySQL or PostgreSQL. Moving to a modern CMS can be really hard and expensive. That's exactly where Directus shines. Like it works directly with your current database. No need to move or rebuild anything. It adds a clean interface, secure admin panel, API permissions, controls, all on the top of it. So if you want to modernize slowly, Directus can help you with less risk. Now let's assume if you need deep customizations, right? Like when you need to think of deep customization in complex relationships, right? You can always think of Payload, Strapi, and Directors. This will definitely be great. Sanity is also great for organizing, connected content. If you need to build pages visually but still want flexibility, Builder.io is absolutely one of the top notch that you can use for visual page builders and technical control. Okay. If you are looking at some enterprise level features, then obviously Contentful is built for large companies. It offers strong APIs, top tier security, and can support big teams. If you need to control access and rules in code, say Payload CMS lets you manage that. Localization, access, data models. Strapi also gives you like detailed control as well. So see, now here we are not just randomly splitting up CMSs, right? We're actually telling you what works at what cases. So we're coming slowly from technical requirements to the teams. And now let's slowly talk about the growth trajectory as well. Like, what would you do with your current growth? Now, if you're just starting out as a company, right, go with Directus or Strapi. They're easy to use, work with your existing data, grow with you. Builder.io is also good, but we would suggest go with Directus or Strapi. I mean, Builder.io only if you're looking at visual content creation. Now, let's assume if you're a mid-sized company growing absolutely fast, as your AI products and teams grows, so Builder.io Contentful Sanity can really work well. Builder.io is especially helpful when you need to move fast with multiple AI products. Now, if you're enterprise, again, I'm here you can use Contentful or Sanity. Definitely. Strapi also provides enterprise level features, so does Directus. But it is up to you to choose. But we would strongly suggest going with Contentful or Sanity. Now, let's talk about our personal opinion, right? Like, what would we do if we were that company? For simple landing pages with visual CMS needs, Sanity, Builder.io are great choices. Now, say for example, we're looking at a complex application beyond the need of CMS, say like a more like a backend, right? So then you're looking at Directus or Payload. Now this is how we want to drill down, right? We want to narrow it down to such an extent that you're clear about what you're choosing. So so as I told you, for simple landing pages, it's Sanity or Builder.io. For complex applications that needs more than a CMS, use Directus or Payload. Okay, so we have even built a full backend system for AI platforms using Directus. So obviously Directus is great in that. So our honest advice: choose tools that adapt your business, not the other way around. Many companies end up stuck with platforms that force them to change how they work, which becomes a pain over time, right? The best way to avoid this is use open source technologies. They are flexible, transparent, and designed to fit your needs and not the vendors. Now, this brings me to a point of open source, right? Like the best and the most widely used tech in the world right now is open source. So these tools provide the openness and community support, lead to powerful and reliable solutions. And we've seen that over and over again. Like Linux, obviously, powers most of the web servers. Docker, standard for deploying softwares. Kubernetes, used to manage big cloud-based application. Postgres, Kafka, Git, TensorFlow. Just like these, right? Directors, Payload, and Strapi are open source CMS platforms that offer high level performance, security, scalability without locking you into a vendor. So you need to think about it. Now you need to be very smart here into choosing what exactly fits your needs. Now we've spoken about open source. We've spoken about technical teams adaptability. We have also spoken about what works best for complex application, what works best for simple applications. We have also spoken based on the growth trajectory, how you should choose. Obviously based on your team structure, how you need to choose. We've done all of this now. Now, let's come to the pricing, right? Pricing of a CMS solution. When picking a CMS solution, one of the most important factors is also pricing, because obviously they think the company might grow like crazily in the next 3 to 5 years, especially in terms of API calls. Content needs and team size also increase, right? It's important to evaluate the API performance, the ability to scale, developer experience, managing technical documentation, content versioning, lot more things. Now let's take this typical example. Say an example of a company, right? 500,000 monthly documentation, month 500,000 page views per month for documentation, 10 million API calls, 25 users, engineers, writers, product manager, whatever it is. So basically, this AI company is rapidly expanding. Now, if you're given a task to choose one of the CMSs where it works best for it, now obviously all of these things can be used. Now, how the pricing varies for this? Sanity would be around 70 to 80K. Contentful, obviously, because of its powerfulness and ability to scale, it's around 100K. Storyblock can be around 30 to 40K. Storyblock is again alternative to Builder that you put there, which you can use. Directus is around 80 to 30K. Strapi is around 30 to 35 to 45K. Payload again 35 to 50K. So these are all rough figures that's based on the latest market info. Cost can definitely change based on, based on the requirement, right? Like when I'm talking about all this, right? Like the the costs are approximate based on market research that we have done. We have worked with clients across the globe. We work with different CMSs. So this is what we're looking at in terms of the pricing, but it might vary 10 to 15% here and there, but not significantly. Now, when will your project start delivering returns? I think this is something that you can read across. We can send you. We'll attach the link, so you can always read through it. It's a split up about how, well, with a lot of assumptions, the conversion rates, and a lot of other things. Now, how to shortlist vendors for a headless CMS in AI companies? One of the majorly important aspect of this video. No, the key factors to consider is big enterprise platforms versus practical, affordable options. Now, let's assume that enterprise CMS platforms offer a lot of advanced features, right? But they can get very expensive very quickly. Now, especially if you're dealing with a lot of APIs, technical documentation, role based access. So in that case, right, you can always use Directus, Payload, or Strapi because they offer full control over your content, freedom to host yourself, obviously because of open source, lower TCO, right? Total long-term ownership cost would be obviously less. These are better fit for AI companies with detailed technical content and high performance needs. So obviously you can look at that. Now, a lot of the companies, right, a lot of the agencies, right, are like tied up with certain CMS. So obviously there is going to be bias for it. So you need to double check if they're tied up or not. So does the CMS support fast, reliable API documentation? Is the question. Can it handle structured content like model specifications, technical guides, API references, various licensing still work as your company scale? So pick a CMS that suits your technical needs. It's just not marketing sites. Um, the other thing that you can also do is read about it. I mean, reading about the CMS on different platforms, CRG2, Capital or Reddit, right, will help you understand a lot of things. Will help you understand how reliable the platform is, how easily it integrates, because a lot of people would have already used it. So that's another thing. And obviously, the last thing is about open source. Flexibility and developer controls. Obviously, open source is basically more control for developers. AI companies often need full control of their backends, custom workflow, tight security, flexible roles. That's why open source platforms like Directus, Payload are so popular with AI engineering teams. Uh, if you're talking about final thoughts for AI companies with millions of API calls, lots of complex documentation, different user roles, the right CMS is about more than just going headless. It's about having full control, ensuring high performance, scaling efficiently, making life easier for your developers. So as the AI space becomes more competitive, your content system becomes a core part of your tech stack, right? The most successful AI companies will treat their CMS like a strategic asset, helping them manage everything from API docs to model specs to training resources. So yeah, so which headless CMS will be the best support? This is something that you have to choose. Moving to headless obviously can boost your operational efficiency, reduce manual work, help technical content across team, whether you're building a dev portal or scaling across products. What I think this brings me to the end of the presentation. I'm pretty sure that you would have understood a lot of things. So these are some of the companies that actually use headless CMS. You would see a lot of big names. Um, this is in short about how things have changed between Jamstack and WordPress. How the load time has significantly become decreased and made it faster. The qualified lead percentage has increased. The bounce rate has decreased. Total site visits have doubled, and conversion rates have doubled. So obviously, all of those things. There's a lot of some benefits of this using this. These are some of the stats which talks about how 80% of the business that don't have headless architecture today say they want to implement it in the next 2 years. 83% of the respondents of who implemented a Jamstack approach anticipate a lower TCO, which we have already emphasized on. 86% of the marketers at large enterprise are frustrated with the current CMS. So after 3 years of using headless CMS, we 582% of ROI, 300% of productivity, 6 months of payback period. This is what we are looking at right now. And this is not VFrame telling you, this is a Forrester report. So yeah, I'm sure that there is going to be confusions. There is going to be you would need more expert guidance, and we are happy to do so. We'll give you like a free 20 hours consulting from our side. Please book your free consultation call with us. I'll drop in the Calendly link in the video, and you know you don't want to get into that space where it becomes really difficult for you. So we can help you with a lot of things, and I think we have helped clients across the globe. And there are different reasons why a lot of the clients choose us, be it in terms of cost or be it in terms of the expertise that we have. A lot of the companies don't even choose a bigger agency, which they come to us because the kind of experience that we have in building such applications, such solutions. Choosing the right CMS, right? Like, as an AI company, isn't about picking the one with the most features. It's about choosing the one that fits your team's workflow, your product, your velocity, and the kind of data your data needs as well. If you get that part right, your CMS becomes an advantage, and that is where we come in, right? We'll help you choose the right CMS. Working with the CMS is just the secondary part of it. Um, so if you get that part right, obviously everything goes right for you. Your CMS becomes an advantage for you, and it's just not a content tool, but it's a foundation. That's what companies have to understand. So if this video helped you, hit like, drop your thought. You can ask me questions as well in the comment section, and I'll try answering it. Subscribe to know more fluff content coming on CMS, their workflows, and tools that actually scale with your product. Thank you so much for listening. Catch you in the next one.